G'day, hi and welcome, old friend. Gentle. All right, anyway, okay, let's check this sucker out. I have issues with that thing. We're looking at a Proyama, an upside down Proyama. The importance of rotating your bar every now and then. My dad knows how to run a chainsaw. This thing, my dad bought it early this season. His old John Cert, I think, which is 60 cc's. This is the actual model of it. Faded off already. Dad bought this for a whopping 350 bucks. Came with a 20-inch bar and a 22-inch bar. It is kind of built totally on the cheap side, but it cut the wood. 22-inch. You got slightly bigger chain. It is kind of flimsy, like it's made in China, whatever. So it's definitely not to like a Husky or Still kind of build quality, but I think it's kind of a knockoff of a Husky, sort of. But it's like, it's just a flimsier version of a lot of plastic where there should be you know, metal parts. But he seems to like it, and like he said, like when he replaced the other saw, like which he had for years and years and years, he goes, if I get a season out of this, he goes, I have enough money to buy 3 of these for, you know, the price of, because he was going to buy a Husky and stuff like that. And my dad only does stove wood. He's retired. He doesn't you can get the dogs on there. He doesn't basically, you know, work with it. So if he gets a season or 2 out of it, this might be a nice homeowner's kind of chainsaw. How long would it last? I don't know, but it's not the level of a pro saw. The bar's pretty good. The chain's okay, but you can see, like when you get to here, it's kind of flimsy plastic. Handle's okay. It's aluminium. It's not ridiculously heavy for its size. It is 60 cc's. I asked him how it compared to the John Cert he had. He says, he goes, oh no, he goes, this is definitely nowhere near that. He goes, but it cuts okay. So it's a low compression one. So it's like a farm saw, built like a farm saw. So what's cool about it is that you get 60 cc's, but you know, like if you were to compare it to probably the Still 261 or the 260 series, this would probably be a little, maybe close to that kind of performance, like, you know, give or take. Where, like, I mean, Still 260 is a really, really good saw, right? But that's a pro level saw. So this is not a pro level saw. If I was relying on it for to make a living, you know, I would definitely, as you were making your money, I'd be putting money away for another saw. But you could buy 2 saws, 3 saws for the equivalent in Still or in Husky. You could probably buy 3 or 4 of these. You know, that's tax and all, you know what I mean, for the equivalent. So I thought about buying one for myself, but I'm just like, I need it to last and last and last. Now, mind you, if my dad has this for a couple of years, I mean, we do cut about 18 to 20 cord. Yeah, well, we burn between 14 and 18 cord a year for ourselves, right? So we're not doing a commercial of that. No, I probably cut, well, I'm using my saws all the time. Now, mind you, I've had no problem with the little Echo, and the Echo is probably at roughly the same quality as this thing. Maybe this thing's not quite to the quality of the Echo, and the Echo is on the downside of the quality. But that's 90s quality versus, you know, build it as cheaply as possible quality as we got today. Not a big difference, but there is a difference in manufacturing. But that said, the manufacturing is better, but the parts are cheaper. So they try to build better design and stuff like that and make it out of the cheapest stuff they can get away with, right? So make the cylinder walls only as thick as they have to be, that kind of stuff. The head's only as, thick as they have to be. So it's not built up, you know what I mean? As far as the chain, that's common. The sprockets, that's common. But if you did need carburetor parts or something for this, I think you'd be throwing it away. Yeah. Cool saw. I haven't used it yet myself, but when I asked my dad, I said, how does it stand up to the Johnsert, which Jonsert's out of business. Husky owns Johnsert. Technically, Poulin owns every chainsaw manufacturer except for probably these knockoff ones from China. But my dad likes it. He says, yeah, it doesn't cut anywhere near as fast, but, and he's not cutting big honking things like that. But, he says he run the 22-inch bar on it, no problem. And what he likes about it is with the 22-inch bar, he can straighten up his back because he's in his 70s, right? So he's pretty worn out and stuff like that. So, but he likes it. It works. It does the job for somebody that wasn't making a living at it. Because if you're making a living at it, you might as well spend the money and get the pro stuff with the... It's not just for the better quality saw, it's the supply of parts. Like if you find something on this that breaks and it doesn't fit with a Husky part or a Still part or a Poulin part or whatever, you could be throwing your saw away for a 10-cent piece of plastic. You know what I mean? So that's the downside to these kind of saws. But I thought I'd show you guys this anyway because I thought it was neat. So my dad, like what he does is he rotates the bar, every now and then, you do a sharp and rotate your bar. I'm a little bit less, I probably should rotate my bar more. I do it maybe about, maybe every 3 or 4 sharpenings or whatever. But anyway, this is what you're looking at. So if you're thinking of getting one of these, I forget the name of the model of this one. It wore off the side, so the sticker wore off the side already. But it's basically the 60 cc, 59, 60 cc saw. I think it's the biggest one they sell of the Proyama. But there's a whole whack load of tools Proyama has. So for somebody starting up a business and they needed to do it on the cheap, like let's say you're a guy and you've got like 5 or 6 guys working with you, and they're gonna, when people use your equipment, they don't treat it as well. This is the kind of saws you buy, you know what I mean? The pro saws are for the guys that don't abuse the saws, right? But you got a bunch of guys working in the bush, so if you go through like say 1 or 2 of these a week, it's not going to be the same as losing a Still or a Husky or something like that. But anyway, it is what it is. And again, the price was right. It was around $360 plus shipping tax and all, so you really can't go wrong for the homeowner type. If you want to be cutting stuff like that all the time, they'll get a better saw, but you would probably get away with it, but you'd probably burn out the saw if you did it on a regular basis. That's a 72cc saw kind of territory there. But 60cc stuff will cut that, believe it or not. It's just, you're going to be working the saw pretty hard. But it did come with 2 bars. It came with like hearing protection and like just really cheap gloves and stuff like that. So it was kind of one of those, whole kits. I think it even comes with the carry case, or the bar part anyway. I can't, but it was a lot. It was a lot of junk for the money. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys that. That's my dad's newest saw. If he gets a couple of years out of it, he's already, just by cutting the wood himself, rather than buying the wood. I mean, the saw is already paid for itself in that sense of what we would save by buying the cordwood by ourselves, right? Maybe this year, what I'm probably going to do just after hunting season is I might go and start cutting up some stuff myself, but I got to get new chains for mine. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So that's the Proyama. There we go.